Mike, what were you feeling watching that game? I know the start was a little, a little troublesome. Just what were you feeling watching that game?
Oh man, nervous the whole time, man. I was nervous the entire time watching that game. But glad that the Buckeyes could pull it off. My Saturday is better because of it.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, we got people in the chat already saying finally, go Bucks. I agree. Defensive O line, get the game ball. Penn State, their defense actually outscores their offense in this one. The defense had the pick six, and the offense only scored 6 points overall. And yeah, that O line looked completely different in this one. Donovan Jackson still struggled with Abdul Carter on the edge, but I mean, I don't know. There aren't very many tackles in the country that aren't going to struggle with him. So a great
Exactly.
effort by him. But I mean, overall, let's start with the O line here, Mike. The O line coming out. Carson Hinsman is at left guard. We haven't seen Carson Hinsman all season. I mean, it's like the guy had vanished. It's like he was still suspended from that podcast that he did.
Yeah.
I mean, we see him come out in this one, and he is a rock, man. The dude was juiced. He was fired up after that QB sneak that got like 5 yards on the goal line. You see him pumping his fists and everything. I love to see the juice. Carson Hinsman was ready for this one.
Yeah, definitely, man. Carson Hinsman. And we've been wondering why haven't we seen him, right? Like we could have used him in the Missouri game. And
Yep.
I always felt that Carson Hinsman last year had played a little too early, right? We weren't even expecting Luke Weipler to leave. That was a surprise to us. And he was thrust in there. He just needed another year of development. Like you said, we've been wondering, where is this guy at? But when we need him the most, man, he stepped up big time. We was wondering, is it going to be Austin Saraville? Like, who is it going to be? And I mean, shout out to him, bro. Stepped up in a major way.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Now, Will Howard was sacked 3 times in this game, so the pass protection wasn't exactly perfect. But like I said, two of those coming from Abdul Carter against Donovan Jackson. There on the side, Donovan Jackson held up well, and I liked what they were doing with the tight ends and the running backs. I felt like this was an under. This is probably going to be an under talked about part of this game is how well the tight ends and running backs were executing the chipping and what they were able to do for not just Donovan Jackson, but other guys as well. Quinshon Judkins comes up with a huge block on the quarterback sweep there toward the end of the game that the broadcast pointed out. I mean, just an overall effort. We were praising the wide receivers at the beginning of the game or the beginning of the season for their blocking. We got to just give overall props, everything to all these guys going out there, hitting the guy in front of
Yep.
them. They were not going to be hit back.
Yeah, man. This definitely looked like a different Buckeye team. Obviously, they've been hearing everything that's been said out there about them because they definitely came out with some physicality. And, last night I was in the Buckeye group, man, and I'm just like sitting here thinking, I'm like, okay, you got two massive guards on that left side, bruh. And, Abdul Carter, he's a great pass rusher. But I think his weakness has been in the run game, right?
Yep.
Like that was my whole thing. Lean on him, lean on that run game, and we were able to do that, man. I just can't say, how much it was good to see this team out there being physical, man. And the goal line stop. Oh my goodness, man. Tyleek goes down, and this was the one time I could say, it felt like next man up mentality where we can go up there and get that. And K McDonald stepped in, did his part, man. That's another thing. The D-line rotation was a whole lot better this game.
Yeah, and I think you saw it throughout the game with how fresh guys were. I mean, they were getting to Drew Aller. They were getting to him. Now they weren't always finishing. They
Right.
were either running by him and stuff like that. But I mean, you saw them get to Drew Aller and make him uncomfortable more than you saw against Dylan Gabriel just 3 weeks ago. Now, Caden McDonald, I mean, man, he made that huge stop against Nebraska last week. So even if Tyleek was available, I still would have wanted to see Caden in there, and we did see him, and thank goodness we did because, man, Caden McDonald, I guess that's just what he practices all the time in practice or something, his goal line stands, because that guy's in the game. I'm feeling confident now against anybody we go up against.
Yeah, I I was texting my friend. He's not a Buckeye fan, but he is a fan of K-Mac. He's been following K-Mac for some time now. And so I was like, hey, our starting D tackle went down, man. I think they about to put K-Mac in. You might want you might want to flip on the TV, and then you get to see that goal line stop. So K-Mac definitely got fans, even outside the fan base, man. So just hope he
Yeah.
can continue to shine in those game reps. That is going to be huge, and that confidence boost is going to be huge for this defense as well.
That's the thing, right? I mean, Buckeye Nation, we're gonna get upset when guys don't play up to their abilities and stuff like that, right? But when you got a guy like Caden McDonald who's not getting the most snaps in the world, but he comes in at the right time and he makes the stop, he does what he's supposed to do. That's the thing about Buckeye Nation. We're gonna give you your flowers all day long for that kind of stuff, especially there in the trenches. Also on that goal line, you had Lathan Ransom covering Tyler Warren. That was spectacular coverage on his part. You also had Caleb Downs covering the other tight end in the back of the end zone. I mean, Drew Aller just had nowhere to go. The coverage was good. The trenches were blocked up. He wasn't going to be able to go anywhere. It was elite defense there on the goal line. And it's honestly, I'd say that goal line stand was what got Ohio State the win.
Yeah, I agree, man. Definitely, because right there, you already knew that they were going to have to go for it. Being down 7 points, they were going to have to try to do something. And what have we been saying? We've been worried. Hey, Ohio State is not good in short down distance, man. On defense, we just haven't been. But you saw it last week in the Nebraska game, and everybody was like, but it's just Nebraska. That's not what I took from that. Like I believe me and you talked about on the show was that's confidence that you can build on as well. So I mean, and you saw they felt they had the confidence and they handled it. And then also, I want to say the DBs good in coverage, right? They've been showing you run. Now they hit you with the pass. You weren't full. Tyler Warren was completely bottled up. So man, I'm loving it. Jim knows you're cooking.
He did a great job this game, and there were some blitzes that he brought that, I mean, just confused the crap out of Penn State's offensive line. The one time I shouldn't say the one time, he did it other times, but he dropped Jack Sawyer back into coverage against the running back on that one play, and that completely took him away. That was very nice to see. So we didn't quite get the aggression out of the defense that we saw in the Nebraska game, I felt like, but we did get to see a lot of the experimentation with different blitz packages and stuff like that. We got to see a lot more rotation on the defensive line, like you pointed out there. And I think at the end of the day, like, this is what we wanted to see, and this is why Penn State only scores 6 points. I mean, Ohio State's offense, let's be honest, they were not great in the game. I don't think it was so much a Chip Kelly thing. I mean, honestly, if we're going to put the blame on anybody, the blame probably goes more on Will Howard's shoulders than anybody else, which is crazy because in the Oregon game, he was the one keeping the Buckeyes going with the game on his
Right.
shoulders. So,
yeah. This game could have really been like it's really crazy because this game could have been really out of hand early. Like the Buckeyes could have put them away early. But like you said, and to be honest, I won't even just say that it was, just Will Howard, right? Like there were some areas where I felt like we could have blocked better, right? I think that also, the coaching staff, I know our coaching staff likes to experiment for some reason, and they were like, hey, let's just see if Donnie can hold up one-on-one, against. But I just feel like sometimes, before we wore down on them, that's when you wear down on Abdul Carter and their edges, that's when I was like, okay, you get them in, one-on-one. That's when I was expecting our offense to do that. I was expecting to see chips, like a chip block and things like that. But if you don't have that, if you learn from this and you take that, and Will Howard just doesn't throw the interception, JJ doesn't think that the ball's going to be underthrown or whatever and stops, he catches that. And we clean up those vertical routes. I mean, because Carnell Tate, when you hit him in stride, that's a touchdown as well. There's a lot of points and a lot of yards that, we left on the field But shout out to the defense saying, hey, you can put the game in our hands and we'll get you the ball back. One thing that I'm very, very impressed on is getting the stops on third downs, JR. That was huge. That was huge. That was something like we got to talk about that for the defense. We got to give them their credit because that was huge.
3 of 11 on third down for Penn State. They were 1 for 2 on fourth down, that one being the stop on the goal line. Their overall total yards, Penn State only gets 270 total yards. I mean, let's be honest, this is what Nebraska did to Ohio State last week, right? They couldn't convert on third down, and Penn State ran the ball a little bit better. But look at where the running game came from. Penn State, their leading rusher was Tyler Warren, 3 carries for 47 yards. Drew Aller was next, 10 carries for 31 yards. So that is the difference between Ohio State, Nebraska last week. But look at the dual running backs. Katron Allen, Fat Man, I guess is his nickname. I didn't realize that. That's a hilarious nickname. 12 for 27 yards, and then Nicholas Singleton, 6 for 15 yards. Both of them were 2.5 yards per carry or worse. I mean, like, you can't ask for a better performance by your defense to come out, do that, get the goal line stop. Jim Knowles was in his bag, and he was stopping them whenever they needed the big stops.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely credit to Jim Knowles on that because – it looks like we're bringing pressure, right? We're not allowing guys to just sit there or whatever. Hey, we'll take your scramble every now and again. And I do hope that sometimes, especially if we're going to go up against a team that's going to use their quarterback in the running game, we use a spy a little bit more. But I have no complaints in what we did. We were like, hey, we'll give this up, but we're going to get our stop. So.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge. Ohio State on third down was 6 for 13, 1 for 1 on fourth down. I mean, overall, you just look at the two offenses. Ohio State, they could have been better. They had the missed deep ball to Jeremiah Smith. They had the fumble at the goal line of Will Howard. I felt like this was a game where, honestly, Ohio State, with that defensive effort and how Ohio State was moving the ball, probably could have won this one by 2 scores, if not more. Did you feel the same, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I mean, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, this game could have really got out of hand very early in this game, if Ohio State just gets out their own way. And that's what we've been seeing like this whole season, why we are leaving points and yards and all of this on the field is we get in our own way, right? Once we stop doing that and we're clicking on all cylinders, I think that this Buckeye team can definitely be explosive, man. But again, we gotta make sure that when we take those shots down the field, we have to hit on those. We cannot continue to miss on those.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Ohio State in this one, looking at their running backs versus the Penn State ones. Quinshon Judkins, 14 carries, 95 yards. Trevion Henderson, 10 carries for 54 yards. That puts both running backs over 5 yards per carry. Trevion Henderson at 5.4. Quinshon Judkins, 6.8. I mean, like, this is how you're going to win in November, right? You're going to put together a game plan where you're going to be able to run the ball. Maybe your quarterback makes a few mistakes here and there, but if you can run the ball, you can hold on to the ball against the other team, you're going to do pretty doggone well. Ohio State wins the time of possession 31 minutes, 23 seconds to Penn State's 28 minutes and 31 seconds. Overall, I mean, definitely could have done some things better, but when you're looking for a winning formula in November, the Buckeyes gave it to you today.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're looking for. And this is what everybody has questioned about Ryan Day, and questioned about Jim Knowles not getting stops in the fourth quarter, not forcing teams to punt in the fourth quarter. So I mean, did they not answer the bell? You could say, hey, Nebraska, it is Nebraska, but Penn State, what do they always have? A good front seven. So to see our offensive line, our makeshift offensive line, being able to lean on them guys. And I mean, if they come with that type of intensity and continue to build, And I wanted to ask you this because I was thinking, I'm like, I'm going to ask JR this. Do you think that they bring Zen Mahalski in to play the left tackle when he gets a little bit healthier? Or do you think that they should continue to build on this offensive line that they had? Because honestly, it just looked like the chemistry, and the more they played and the more the game kept going, the better they looked. Would you change that?
I think you got to stick with what you got. I mean, I hate to give up on Zen so quick, but you can't rush him back, number one. And so if he's not completely ready, Donovan Jackson did well enough out there. And number two, like, I feel like Donovan Jackson did better than I would have saw Zen Mikulski
Facts.
doing. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you pointed it out, and I didn't even think about that. You basically got two guards on the left side or the right side of the offensive line right now. So if we're being honest, like, just keep running behind those guys. And honestly, Josh Fryer and Tegra over there, they're not much different. Just keep running behind those guys and get the ball out quick enough. You're not going to have to worry as much about pass protection. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put a poll in the chat, and you guys tell me. It's going to be either stick with the O line we saw today or move on to Zen. Let me know what you guys think.
Yeah, man.
What do you think,
I
Mike? What do you think they should do?
stick with what you got. You got to build on that. You got to build on that. The fire that you saw Donovan Jackson coming off the field, you know, when they had the TV on him, that fire, that intensity, that I mean, you have to continue to build on that. And also, Donnie, is anybody not in your camp telling you, hey, you just upped your draft stock, buddy? You just upped your draft stock, buddy. Yeah, because I don't think people understand when you get to the next level how many offensive linemen they travel with. And yeah, when a tackle goes down, sometimes they gonna have to lean on a guard. We're seeing it now in the NFL. He just upped his draft stock right there. So I think he should continue to build on it. I know that there was rumors talking about he didn't want to do it because he, you know, worried about the future. But no, build on this. And I think that there are areas where he can get better at, right? But how do you get better? Reps, 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 reps. So I think as long as you continue to give this guy reps because he knows what he's doing, he's been in this, he's been playing college football for a very long time, right? I think he can only get better.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's just making himself look better to NFL scouts right
And
now. And let's be honest, like if you're a guard, you're not going first round in the NFL draft. It's going to be hard to go second round in the NFL draft, right?
and yeah, and who are you going to see that's as top as Abdul Carter until maybe what, the Team Up North game? So
Yeah.
it's practice reps for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And you just keep leaning on people and leaning on people. And then after you done weigh down on them and they tired, then that's when you go ahead and you start leaving a one-on-one and things like that. Don't got to worry about the chip, bro. But I think that you keep doing that and building his confidence there. And then when you do get maybe to the Team Up North game and you possibly make it to the Big Ten championship, right? You can end up leaving him one-on-one. Why? Because he has that experience, the college experience of a left tackle now.
Totally. Totally. Our poll, we got some votes. We got the people saying stick with the O line today. In fact, our guy Day 1K says anyone who votes for Zen is just a Michigan fan. So
Yeah, I
that's
see
me up there.
that. Yeah.
Those won't be in the chat today. Number one, we got a top 10 win or top 5 win. Number two, they're playing right now, and I haven't even checked in on that game yet. I don't know how that game's going for them.
What?
It looks like it might be tied, but Oregon looks like they might be driving right now. I'm not seeing where they're. Oh, they're on the other side of the 50. So, yeah, tied right now, 0-0. But we'll see if Dylan Gabriel and Oregon, yeah, they just got another big pass play. Both cornerbacks are out for the team up north today. I don't think it's going to be a very good day for their secondary.
Hold on. Both
What?
quarterbacks are out for the. You said corner. Oh, I thought you
Yeah.
said corner. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Jair Hill and Will Johnson are both out. Sidetrack really fast. We'll get back to the Ohio State game in a second. Do you think Will Johnson is sitting right now because he knows his draft stock's just going to get worse if he keeps
Yeah.
playing? Or
Yep. Yep. 1000%. Cause if you wasn't gonna say it, I dang sure was. Because I think that's exactly what's happening, bro. And honestly,
yeah,
I think he's been contemplating playing the rest of the season anyways, right? Like, what is he playing for? And what did Team Up North fans say? Oh, y'all soft. Marvin Harrison not playing. Kyle soft. He left y'all. All of this stuff. What's going on?
Yep.
What's going on? Because my guy Marv was out there with a bum ankle the whole time for 2 years straight, going crazy. So, I mean, here's my thing. Like I said, I feel like that culture, that whole program was built on sand, and you're watching it fall right between, like, right in front of your eyes in 4K. I caught this preseason, bro. It just is what it is.
This is what happens when you don't have a scout going to every single game for you, right? I mean, this is how it goes. Tez Johnson did just leave the game, so that's an injury for Oregon, but he was walking off on his own, so we'll see how that goes. But looks like he was going back to the locker room, but like I said, walking off on his own.
They still got Evan Stewart and what's his name? The Spit Boy. That's what I'm gonna call him. I ain't even gonna say his name. Spit Boy.
Yeah, there we go. Let's talk about the receivers for a second here, Mike. I mean, obviously the Penn State wide receivers just absolutely horrible. I mean, it is complete travesty that James Franklin is trotting out this receiving core in the Big Ten. The Big Ten not exactly known for their wide receivers, but I mean, you have to just be ashamed of yourself trotting out this wide receiver core, especially against Ohio State, which did not have a huge day. But like I said, Jeremiah Smith broke the record. Mecca Ibuka had a touchdown catch. Brandon Inniss had a touchdown catch. That was really cool to see. I went back and watched that play. The wide receivers that were in for that play, Mike, Jaden Ballard, Bryson Rogers, I never thought we'd see Brandon Inniss, Bryson Rogers, and Jaden Ballard. I never thought we'd see those three wide receivers by themselves on the field. But hey, you know what? Chip Kelly was like, they're not going to see it coming. And he's right. Brandon Inniss catches it.
Facts, bro, because like I tried to tell folks, especially about like the Nebraska game, right? Like what you are seeing is teams was like, hey, JJ is a true freshman, right? We'll worry about Emeka. Well, then JJ started going off, then it's like, hey, well, we need to do some bracket stuff on JJ. We'll do this, and then, you end up leaving Emeka open and everything. Now you try to take away those two guys, and then Carnell's open. So, like, you're starting to see, like, what teams are doing. Now you go and you put some guys who don't really got much tape out there. What are you thinking? Like, oh, they're probably just running the ball or something. Like, and that's what you've seen. The guys bit. And they went with Trey thinking, I think it was like a toss play or something. And the guys end up running right into each other. So, and Brandon Inniss was wide open. So, I mean, masterful by Chip, man. And he was cooking in that game, bro. I just wish that we could have hit some of them vertical routes, because gosh, it would have made the day a whole lot better for the offense.
Would have made the win a whole lot bigger too. Jeremiah Smith, I think he lost it in the sun. I honestly think he would have had it if it wasn't for the sun. Which thanks Fox for the noon game rather than the night game. No sun in the night game. So, and then I think that was just a misfire by Will Howard to Carnell Tate. I was so mad about that one because that one could have been a huge play, but it is what it is. I'll tell you one person who gave me a heart attack in this game, Mike, was Jelani Thurman on that catch. Oh my word!
I knew it. But see, here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about Jelani. I don't think Jelani thought that he was getting the ball.
No, I think you're right. Yeah,
I don't think that Jelani was expecting that, But like I was telling my wife when I was yelling and jumping, and I said, this is why you play guys like this, because no matter what, they're going to make a play. And if you let the guy keep playing and keep playing, he's going to make plays. And I mean, I know I sound like a broken record every week, but just reps, and getting those guys some action and some target, it builds up the confidence. These guys are able to play better, and I'm telling you, you're going to see things come to fruition, man. And I'm happy for Jelani. I'm
I
happy
am
for
too, man.
Jelani, man.
You saw G Scott go down there for a second. You were wondering if he'd come back or not, but he did eventually come back. I'll be honest, I didn't feel all that scared. Like when I knew Jelani was there, I thought, okay, this is his time to shine. He can get it done here. Obviously G Scott, he did well most parts of the game. He did have that drop on third down. I think it was but I don't think he was going to get the first down anyway.
I don't even. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that throw right. I just feel like the ball wasn't placed where I think he had to reach like
It was
behind him.
behind him.
So yeah, it's kind of hard for me to put that on him. I mean, still, big time player, you gotta make big time plays. But that's just where I feel like we got to work on leading guys. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah, it was a catch that JJ probably would have made, but like I said, it was so far behind him. I don't even know if he's able to catch that get up field with the
yeah.
people around him. Ryan here says, I feel like Thurman was cussing the whole time he played hot potato with the pass.
Hey,
I
that's
can see
because
that.
Ryan probably watches those the videos on YouTube of Bryson Rogers. I don't know if you checked any of those out.
I've not seen those, no.
But yeah, if you check those out, man, you know Jelani, man. You definitely know Jelani.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. John is asking any more on the Tyreek Williams injury. I've not heard anything. I'm sure there'll be Ryan might get asked about it in the press conference. I didn't even see what happened. They didn't even show it in the broadcast or anything. I didn't see if he walked off on his own. So that might be one. We'll just have to hear what they say and see if there's a replay of it later on. Did you see anything, Mike?
Someone said that he walked off the field slowly with assistance from trainers, and then he went in the medical tent. That was all that I had heard from. But I thought someone had also said that he had went down slowly. So I don't know if it was just something after the play or what, but
Yeah.
definitely, keep him in our prayers. Hopefully he gets better and is next man up and going into Ohio State's next games and things like that, where you have Purdue and Northwestern. I think that those are two great games to go ahead and give that young man some rest, because he's been putting his defensive line on his back. He's been the one consistent force. I will say he does need to work on his gap integrity sometimes. But Tyreek is that guy, man. And so we definitely hope that he's able to get back to that Indiana game and definitely that team up north game. So
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think honestly, if you just let Tyreek sit the Purdue and Northwestern game, it wouldn't do anything bad. I mean, if anything, you give more time to Hero Canoe, Caden McDonald, and I mean Jason Moore. Jason Moore was another one we heard a lot of in the offseason. We just haven't
mhm.
seen all that much from. But hopefully, if those guys get some more time, it can be beneficial.